schizophrenia. So what do? They medicate them, making them like a zombie. So if you ever look at people with any kind of mental illness, and I'm not just speaking of schizophrenia, next week I'll be speaking on a little bit on people who have bipolar, but they all got this certain kind of look to them. Whether it be the medications, or whether it be the familiar spirit. But they all have this shocked look like this. And this is how they walk and they look. They're like spaced out. But understand that there's 2.5 million people in America who have been diagnosed with schizophrenia. Starting earlier with the men between the ages of what? Between the ages of 13 and 25. There's a problem. Doctors say that it's a chemical imbalance in the brain with the serotonin and the dopamine, which causes the neurotransmitters to be off. So when that happens, they begin to do what? Hear differently, see differently, think differently, smell differently, taste differently, because of the imbalance, the doctor says, of the brain. But regardless of what I think doctors say, I still say it's a familiar spirit. So then what happens? True story. This was over 22 years ago. Someone very close to the family had schizophrenia. And every time she would look at me, she would say, Dan, this is what she called me, that's my nickname. Don't y'all call me Dan, but she called me Dan. She said, Dan, your face is green. And I would say, no, my face is not green. And she would say, Dan, I'm telling you, your face is green. And I would say, no, my face is green, it's brown, and it's always been brown. But in her mind, that's what she was seeing. But had I had the education and the training that I've got now, this is simply simple what you say to people who say that they see things that are simply are not there. You say to that individual with schizophrenia or MPD, you simply say, I understand in your mind, you see green. But when I look in the mirror, I see something totally different. So I'm not saying, don't agree with them, but just simply say, what you're seeing is real to you. But what I'm seeing, it's not real to me. Don't argue with them, because that's simply what they see. Simply what they hear. They taste differently. I remember at this particular barbecue, she had made some baked beans. And because of the imbalance of the mind, she put way too much lemon juice on the baked beans. So when everybody tastes the baked beans, everybody's like, who in the world made these baked beans? They were the worst baked beans. It's because she couldn't taste right. Tasted okay to her. So she kept putting more lemon juice and more lemon juice and more lemon juice. But someone of a sound mind, we knew that was off. We knew it was wrong.
Right.
Amen?
Amen.
So what are some of the signs and symptoms of schizophrenia? They will simply hear and see things that are simply not there. They become delusional. They hallucinate things. They get very paranoid. They always feel like someone is watching them. You remember that song by Michael Jackson? I always feel like someone's watching me. I have no privacy. This is the way a lot of times schizophrenia people think. They feel like they have no privacy. They feel like someone is watching them. And not only that, they will begin to walk really fast. And they begin to think what they think someone is actually literally chasing them. And you better believe there is a familiar spirit that is really after them. And we're wondering, what in the world is going on with that person? Why are they walking so fast all of a sudden? It's because they think somebody's behind them. And it is. It's that familiar spirit. Amen?
Amen.
Right in the house of God. A lot of times they have a particular way of speaking. They have a different way of even writing. Watch how they write. job to job to job because they simply cannot get along with people. Or the job is just too hard. And honestly, folks, they can't help it unless they get the devil cast out. And that's just the truth. They have a change in their hygiene and their appearance. Their personality begins to change. They become withdrawn from people. They become very angry, very upset, very fearful. Now, when I got this information, I got it from Mental Health America, but there were some things in my notes that I did not put in because I didn't simply agree with it. And one of the things that they said schizophrenia people are not dangerous. The devil is a lie. They can be dangerous. Now, we remember the story of the schizophrenia man here in Kansas City, had all that long black hair, and when his social worker came to his house, what happened? Stabbed her, killed her. So they can be violent. Don't believe everything you read just because you see it. A lot of times it's about experience and what you see. Sometimes these doctors are wrong. So when I read that, I thought, no, this is inaccurate. They are violent. And I remember working in a particular place where I supervised a home for people who had mental illness. And one of the men actually came up to me and said, I'm hearing voices, I want to kill you. I thought, okay, what did I do to you? Nothing. Nothing. But this is what they hear. So no one's going to ever not tell me that they're not violent. They can. And when you are dealing with people and you're casting spirits out of people with mental illness, have someone around. Because they can have an uncontrollable amount of strength that will pull you down and tear you down. Not that it's them, but it's that spirit in them. You kind of heard of things about people with Alzheimer's. They have this uncontrollable strength, this power that comes out of nowhere. Perhaps it's a spirit, that's why. Overpowered everybody.